This is the Texas Report, Weekend Edition.
In my nearly 35 years of law enforcement experience, that this is the most violent and most gruesome scene that I have dealt with in that time period. And obviously, after that many years, I've seen a bunch.
And one SWAT officer on the scene at Waco's Twin Peaks restaurant said he'd never seen such chaos. Dozens of bikers with knives and guns attacking each other and then turning on police. When the gunfire was over, 9 were dead, 18 more shot or stabbed, all of them bikers.
But it could have been much worse. The big questions tonight: was Twin Peaks negligent, keeping people safe? And is more violence coming? The police are on high alert as hundreds of members of biker gangs descend on Waco. We've got team coverage beginning with Stephanie Escobar, who's been watching police bring in more than 100 bikers for questioning at a location police asked us not to reveal to you. Stephanie, what's going on right now?
As Bruce just said, police asked us not to disclose this location, but as you can see, this street is blocked off right now and there is heavy police presence in this area. They have been escorting the detained bikers inside this building all afternoon and evening. I have already seen at least 3 city buses with some of the detained bikers, like the one you can see behind me. As some of them are going inside, others are coming outside. Dozens have also been escorted outside of the buildings and into vans, but they didn't have handcuffs. I have seen bikers walk in the building without shoes, and officials have gone inside with boots, belts, and chains. Waco police say they're preparing in case reports of more bikers coming into our area turn out to be true. Waco Police, the McLennan County Sheriff's Office, and the Department of Public Safety have been here making sure everyone is safe. And a helicopter circled for several hours too. Eric Dyer Borowicz, who lives nearby, says he was scared at first when he saw the bikers being escorted.
I was like, oh my gosh, I don't know if somebody's actually gonna like come out and come start shooting.
Not only the streets nearby are closed, but some businesses like Walmart on Franklin Avenue also shut down early. Live in Waco, Stephanie Escobar, News Channel 25.
Restaurant near Twin Peaks. They weren't allowed to go home for nearly 3 hours today.
The Texas Report's Grant Herms talked to some of them as well as nearby businesses about the ordeal. And Grant, they described it as a nightmare.
Bruce, and the mood out here is one of shock and disbelief this afternoon. Before they cleared out the marketplace today, it was just like any other normal Sunday, packed with shoppers and customers and business employees. That all changed in the blink of an eye. Now, for the most people out here that were evacuated from Twin Peaks, they said it was a terrifying ordeal. They said they heard initial gunshots like pops and then a series of more pops. That's when it hit the floor, or they hit the floor, rather, crawling some 20 feet into a freezer in the back of the restaurant, locking themselves inside as the chaos outside ensued. And they say they came out to something surreal.
It was really, really scary. We didn't know if somebody was going to come back. They said people outside the doors had guns. It was scary. I'm still scared. I've never been around anything like this. It's crazy.
That was not the only story I heard like that today. There were numerous others of people that were inside. Thankfully, all of those people that were inside with Jennifer were able to get out uninjured. Now, as for the businesses around here, they've been closed for the better part of the day today. They hope that they'll reopen after this investigation wraps up, but this will definitely leave a mark on the surrounding community. Live in Waco, Grant Herms, the Texas Report.
A handful of biker gangs descended on Twin Peaks restaurant. Sources tell us 2 of the main ones were the rival Banditos and the Cossacks.
Now, Christiana Gross continues our team coverage tonight, telling us how the incident started and what police did to minimize casualties.
And Bruce, hours after that deadly shooting, this remains an active crime scene. Dozens of officers here from different law enforcement agencies are still here working this scene, and the entire Central Texas marketplace remains shut down. And as well as officers who are still on the scene, and it's a much different scene now than it was earlier today. Hundreds of bikers were out here for Twin Peaks Bike Night event when that melee broke out just after 12 o'clock. A fight started in the bathroom and quickly escalated. Knives were pulled and shots were fired inside Twin Peaks before it spilled out into the parking lot, becoming a full-fledged gunfight between at least 5 different rival criminal gangs. Officers and SWAT teams were on standby nearby.
We kept the violence in a very small, contained area. There were numerous rounds fired at other bike rival gang members and at Waco and DPS officers. We don't know at this point if our shot placement or them being shot at by other bike gang members is what led to their demise.
Cars parked next door at the Don Carlos restaurant were riddled with bullets, but somehow no one inside was hurt.
I was amazed at the number of rounds that were fired up here and the number of people that were shooting at each other and our officers. I was amazed that we did not have innocent civilians killed or injured.
In all, 9 people are confirmed dead, 8 here at Twin Peaks, another at a nearby hospital, and 18 more were injured. Most had gunshot or stab wounds, and all are confirmed members of criminal biker gangs that were involved. Investigators have recovered at least 100 weapons, everything from chains, knives, clubs, bats, and numerous guns. They've recovered here at the scene, and because of the sheer size of the crime scene, police will be here collecting evidence well into the night, and the Central Texas Marketplace could remain shut down even into the morning. They say there's no timeline on when they'll be done. Live at the Central Texas Marketplace, I'm Christiana Gross.
All this might have been prevented had Twin Peaks management cooperated when police warned them this big biker event could be trouble.
Sergeant Swanton's frustration over the way Twin Peaks management refused to help police was crystal clear all afternoon. Police had contacted Twin Peaks corporate offices even when discussions with the local management didn't get anywhere.
It appears at this point that the individuals at Don Carlos and that restaurant have not been involved at all. The individuals at Twin Peaks knew that this was occurring and allowed it to continue, which brought us to where we are today.
And tonight, Twin Peaks restaurant operating partner Jay Patel issued a statement on Facebook expressing horror at the criminal violent acts. He says, quote, "We share in the community's trauma." And Patel goes on to say, "Our management team has had ongoing and positive communications with the police and will continue to work with them as we all want to keep violent crime out of our businesses and community."
Well, police don't agree. The official Twitter for Twin Peaks Restaurant posted earlier today said, "Our thoughts and prayers are with the families and victims of the tragedy at Franchise Partners Restaurant in Waco." But on Facebook, people are outraged at Twin Peaks for not cooperating with police. The page called Ban Waco Twin Peaks was created just hours after the deadly shooting. According to the page, it was made for solely the purpose of getting the restaurant to shut down because they knew there was a potential for something to happen there, but chose to ignore it. And we did reach out to the creator of the Facebook page, who said they want to remain anonymous for fear of safety.
The TABC reacted swiftly today as well. We broke the story at 5:30 today that it had suspended the restaurant's liquor license for 7 days, not as punishment, but to investigate whether Twin Peaks was negligent in taking responsibility and taking responsible measures to ensure the safety of their guests and others outside the business. If they find that is the case, Twin Peaks' permit to serve alcohol could be canceled, and that would severely affect their bottom line.